Have you ever wondered how many dangerous diseases can sneak up on us after we turn 60, sometimes with barely a warning sign? Here's a fact that shocks even experienced doctors. In the United States, the majority of hospital admissions for people in their 60s and 70s could have been prevented if just a handful of simple medical tests were done on time. Let that sink in. Every day I meet seniors who are living with hidden time bombs, like clogged arteries, silent kidney trouble, or undetected cancers, simply because nobody told them what tests are essential or why these tests matter. Most people assume that feeling a little tired, forgetting words, or losing some weight is just getting older. But the truth is, many of these changes are early warning signals your body is desperately trying to send. And here's what almost nobody tells you. It's not just about living longer, it's about living stronger, with a mind and body you can truly rely on. If you watch until the very end, I'll share the one medical checkup that most doctors overlook, even though it could mean the difference between catching a life-threatening illness early or missing it until it's too late. So stick with me, because your health, your independence, and your years of wisdom are too precious to let slip away from something totally preventable. Let me ask you, when was the last time you had a real conversation about your health with someone who actually listens? Most people don't even realize that a few simple blood or scan results can help you spot silent killers like heart disease or cancer years before you'd ever feel a single symptom. Too many people believe that after 60, their health is just a roll of the dice, as if illness is a random, unstoppable force. That couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, genetics play a role, but the latest research proves that with the right medical checks at the right time, you can catch and even reverse the most common threats to your health. You can absolutely change your story, and it starts with knowing what to look for. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. How old are you right now? Write your age in the comments below. I personally read every reply, and I want to know what you're facing. Is there a medical test that you're worried about, or a health issue you wish you'd spotted sooner? Let's support each other, because you're definitely not alone. Now, let's get real about the tests that actually matter, the ones that could mean the difference between a long, independent life and a sudden crisis. Imagine this. You're feeling fine, maybe a little slower than you used to be, but nothing major. Then, out of nowhere, a routine test shows that your arteries are 80% blocked, or your kidneys are working at half their strength. I've seen it happen. The good news is the most effective medical checks are straightforward, often painless, and can usually be done in a single morning at your local clinic. Let's start with the one that saved more lives than almost any other, the blood pressure test. You'd be amazed how many people walk around for years with high blood pressure, never knowing that every day their heart and arteries are being silently damaged. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer for a reason. There are usually no obvious symptoms until something serious happens, like a stroke or a heart attack. I once had a patient, a retired teacher, who felt perfectly healthy. She only came in for a check because her daughter insisted. Her blood pressure was nearly double what it should have been, but she felt totally normal. We started treatment, and she never had the stroke that could have ended her independence. The science is simple. When your blood pressure is too high, your blood vessels are under constant strain. Over time, this damages the lining of your arteries, making it easier for cholesterol to build up and clots to form. It also puts extra stress on your heart, your brain, and your kidneys. The easiest fix? Get your blood pressure checked at least once a year, and more often if you've ever had a high reading. It takes just a few minutes and can literally add years to your life. If you want a quick hack, keep a log at home with an affordable cuff. Many pharmacies even offer this service for free. And here's a tip. Take your reading at different times of day. especially when you're relaxed, so you get a true average. Next up, let's talk about cholesterol and blood sugar. These two numbers are like the weather report for your arteries and your future. Too many people ignore them, but the truth is high cholesterol and high blood sugar work together like a pair of troublemakers, slowly damaging your blood vessels and nerves. I've seen people who never ate a single sweet still develop diabetes in their later years, just because their bodies process sugar differently with age. High cholesterol is even sneakier. It can build up in your arteries for years with no pain at all. Then, one day, a little piece breaks off and blocks the blood flow to your heart or brain. The science is rock solid, keeping your LDL, or bad cholesterol, and your fasting blood sugar in the healthy range dramatically lowers your risk of a heart attack, a stroke, or kidney failure. Here's the tip. Every senior should have a fasting blood test for cholesterol and blood sugar at least once a year. If you have a family history or you've ever had a borderline result, ask your doctor about more frequent checks. One lifestyle hack that actually works: swap refined grains and sugary drinks for whole grains, beans, and water. Even small changes can make a big difference in your next blood test. Now, something a lot of people try to ignore: colon cancer screening. I get it. Nobody likes to talk about bowel habits or think about colonoscopies. But the reality is, colon cancer is one of the most common and deadly cancers in older adults. Yet it's also one of the most preventable. Here's what most people never realize. Colon polyps can grow for years, turning from harmless bumps into dangerous cancer without causing a single symptom. If you wait until you see blood or feel pain, it's often already too late. But if you get checked, doctors can remove polyps before they turn cancerous. There are several ways to screen: colonoscopy, stool tests, or newer scan-based options. Talk to your doctor about which is right for you. Most people over age 50 should start and repeat the test every few years, depending on your personal risk. And don't let fear hold you back. I once had a patient who delayed her colonoscopy for years, convinced it would be too uncomfortable. When she finally went, they found and removed a large polyp, no cancer, and she was back home the same day. Her courage may have saved her life. Another test that's absolutely essential but so often missed is the kidney function check. Your kidneys are like your body's natural filters, quietly cleaning your blood day and night. But after 60, they can start to wear out, even if you feel fine. The problem is, kidney disease is silent in its early stages. You might not notice anything until you're suddenly dealing with swelling, fatigue, or worse. A simple blood and urine test can show how well your kidneys are working years before any symptoms appear. Why does this matter? Because if you catch kidney trouble early, you can slow or even stop its progression with changes in diet, medication, and blood pressure control. I'll never forget a man who came in feeling just a bit more tired than usual. His kidney numbers were low, but with early intervention, we were able to help him avoid dialysis and keep living the active life he loved. If you want a kidney-friendly hack, focus on staying hydrated, eating less salt, and watching your over-the-counter painkiller use. Too many pain pills can quietly damage your kidneys over time. Let's turn to something that worries almost everyone: memory and thinking skills. Dementia is a word nobody wants to hear, but it's not a normal part of aging, and early testing can make a massive difference. Memory changes after 60 are common, but there's a line between what's normal and what's not. The tricky part: even experienced doctors can miss the early signs of problems like Alzheimer's or other dementias, especially if someone's just a little more forgetful or slower to find words. The latest evidence shows that catching cognitive changes early opens the door to new treatments, lifestyle changes, and ways to protect independence for longer. Cognitive screening can be as simple as a conversation, a drawing test, or a series of memory questions. If you've ever worried about your memory, or if your family has noticed changes, ask for a memory check at your next visit. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, just another part of caring for your health, like checking your vision or hearing. And here's a tip: challenge your brain every day. Crossword puzzles, learning a new skill, or even just socializing can strengthen your mental muscle and keep you sharper, longer. Now, let's talk about bone health, something too many people only think about after a fracture. Did you know that after 60, a broken hip or wrist can change everything? A simple bone density scan, often called a DEXA scan, shows how strong your bones are and helps predict your risk of osteoporosis. Why does this matter? Because weakened bones can break from a minor fall or even just tripping over a rug. The consequences can be devastating: loss of mobility, independence, and even life-threatening complications. But if you catch osteoporosis early, you can strengthen your bones with medication, exercise, and nutrition. I once saw a woman in her 70s who broke her wrist gardening. Her bone scan showed osteoporosis, but with treatment, she never had another fracture and stayed active for years. A bone-healthy hack: get plenty of calcium and vitamin D. Stay active with weight-bearing exercise like walking, and talk to your doctor about whether you need a scan, especially if you've ever broken a bone after 50. Another silent risk is thyroid problems. Your thyroid is a small gland in your neck that controls your body's metabolism, energy, and even your mood. After 60, thyroid disorders become more common, but the symptoms, like fatigue, weight changes, or feeling cold, are easy to mistake for normal aging. A simple blood test called TSH can reveal if your thyroid is underactive or overactive. Why is this so important? Because untreated thyroid disease can lead to serious heart, bone, and mental health problems. The fix is straightforward. If you're feeling more tired than usual, gaining or losing weight for no clear reason, or noticing changes in your skin or hair, ask for a thyroid test. Treating thyroid problems is usually as simple as taking a daily pill. And finally, the test most doctors forget, the one I promised I'd reveal at the end, has to do with your blood's ability to carry oxygen. Anemia, or low blood count, is incredibly common in seniors, but it often goes unnoticed. You might feel weak, short of breath, or just off, but assume it's just aging. A routine blood test called a complete blood count can spot anemia early. Why is this critical? Because anemia is often a clue to other hidden problems like bleeding in the gut, vitamin deficiencies, or even some cancers. I remember a gentleman who started napping more and more every day. A simple blood test revealed he was anemic, and further tests uncovered a small, treatable colon polyp that had been bleeding silently. The tip here: if you're more tired than usual, ask for a blood count check and make sure your diet has enough iron, B vitamins, and protein to support healthy blood. Let's pause here for a second, because I want you to remember this. These medical tests aren't just about spotting problems. They're about giving you power and choice over your future. I know that taking action on your health can feel overwhelming, especially when life gets busy or doctor visits seem rushed. But your body has an amazing capacity to heal and adapt, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The secret is consistency, getting these checks regularly, following up on the results, and making small, steady changes in your lifestyle. Even one test can catch a hidden problem before it becomes a crisis. So, here's my encouragement for you today. If you've put off any of these tests, make the call. Book that appointment. Tell someone you trust. Your life, your independence, and your happiness are worth every minute. Even if you feel fine, these tests can give you peace of mind. And if something is wrong, catching it early is your best chance for a full, active life. Before we wrap up, let's motivate each other. Which of these health checks surprised you most? Was there one you've never heard of, or maybe one you've been avoiding? Write it in the comments. And if there's a topic you want to know more about, let me know. Your question might be the one we answer next time. If this video helped you, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next life-changing tip. And please share this with a friend or family member, because health is something we build together, one step at a time.